Hello everyone and welcome back to Chris Aquatics. Now in today's video I'm going to be doing a proper rack tour after I've finally gone through and done all of my tanks. I'm almost finished. That one is on its last bit. I have pulled out the majority of plants for most of my tanks and moved everything around. So everything's quite different, which is why I haven't been able to post for a bit because I've been super busy. But I am currently done majority of this section. Still things I can tweak, obviously it's always like that, but I'll be going through everything in this video and pointing out everything that you guys have sort of missed, I guess you could say. If you find anything in this video interesting or learn anything, feel free to let me know what you learned down below, and feel free to leave. Firstly, I want to start off with the bottom level of the rack, and I'm going to head my way up till the very end where the best tanks will be shown. So from left to right, I have my red cherries in this tank, and I also have some fry of my Luminatus or red neon blue eyes in there as well. This middle tank I'm cycling for Carolina shrimp, so it's about 5 weeks into the cycle right now. And this right tank over here, I picked it up for the whole lot, so everything came in it, and I haven't had a chance to properly go into that tank and take a full look at what's in there. But from what I can see at the moment, there's some jungle val at the back, I'm fairly sure, along with some Java fern and some of this micro sword. On the left side, I have it quite shaded, as is I've left all of the floaters because of the fry. It's a bit hard to film them, but I will try to. There's one right there. So they have the blue eye, and they're the red neon blue eyes. You can see one right there. And I also have red cherry shrimp in here, which are pretty decent grade actually. So there's a buried female right there, and you can see they're pretty good red. So this tank just has lots of slow growers, also has some Amania gracilis, which is this stem plant, and then there's a bunch of slow growing plants. I haven't fully finished, like I said, so there's still Anubias at the top that I need to plant somewhere, but I haven't really found any space for that yet. More in depth, I have some Bulbitis right here. There's some bronze Wenti crypts right here, along with some green Wenti on the right there. There's a Balance crypt, which is this one's leaves, and at the back right. There's also some Java moss, which has Luminatus eggs on it that I just put straight into the tank, and then they hatch off that. And then on this left side, I have lots of needle-leaf Java fern. Through the gap in the back, there's a bit of the Boost iron box quite a while ago. I still have that on me, which is pretty good. I have quite a lot of it actually, so we're going to get into that later. But very simple. This one over here, if you want to see the setup video for this, it'll be my last previous video from memory, and it's pretty simple. I'm just letting this one be. You can't really see much in it right now. I'll move up to the next level. These three are my shrimp tanks. So I have my snowball shrimp, my Bloody Mary shrimp, and my yellow cherry shrimp. On the left here, the snowballs have been doing very well. There's tons of willow moss at the moment, along with some Nana, just regular Anubias Nana right there. And there's a bunch of needle-leaf Java fern throughout the back, along with a piece of Bulbitis at the front here. This tank is full of rice, fish, fry, and it's coming to somewhat juvenile size. I also have 2 Gertrude Day spotted blue eyes at the back somewhere in this tank, hard to spot. But this tank's pretty simple. There's a sponge filter on it, and it's overgrown with duckweed for the same purpose of fry. But this is pretty much just a fry grout tank, and waiting for my snowballs to start breeding again. The middle tank has my Bloody Mary shrimp, along with some Melis or honey blue eyes fry. The Melis fry are a lot easier to spot than the blue eyes or the Luminatus. So this tank still needs to be fully done, but you can see them swimming right there. There's 2 of them. So there's all my Bloody Mary in this tank. This tank has the small form of that's Bulbitis deforums, I think it is, and then there's some Anubias along the back and some different type. I think that's Christmas moss, but it's overgrown with a hair algae, and that's Physidens moss that's doing pretty well. But I haven't really got to these tanks yet in sense of cleaning to properly have them fully maintained, as I was working on the tank on the 3rd rack, which I'll show you. This tank has my yellow cherry shrimp, which are out the front right here, you can can see. There's a bit of boost right there, along with some different Java fern types, more bulbitis. This is all just dumped in here for the time being until I find spots for them. There's some older blue eyes right there that you can see, and it's pretty simple really. I've had to just leave these tanks all alone because I've had so much fry recently that taking out things is hard, and it's really hard to remove all the duckweed without taking out fry, which is kind of worrying as they're pretty valuable to me. I don't want to lose them, so I've been very careful with the tanks recently, but I have got pretty close to finishing everything up. So I will be doing a maintenance video of all these tanks and how I maintain them, which will be my next video coming out soon. On the third level, I have my Luminatus breeding tank, which is on the right here, and I have my planted high-tech tank with all my high-tech plants on the left here. This tank has CO2, by the way, and you can see the diffuser right there. So I'm going to go through the tank on the right first, and then we'll go to the tank on the left. The tank on the right is super simple. It's a 20-liter tank. It's the same as the Kmart ones, which are this one right here, but it has a rim to it. I don't exactly remember the exact brand, but I think it's Aqua One with the Splish Splash. And I just have a bed of Java moss, which is what they spawn in, along with a breeding mop at the top for when they do spawn at the top, which they have done both for me. I have a sponge filter, and I have a heater, which is set to 26 degrees. Taking a look at the fish, they're just over there in the corner. So I've had quite a bit of breeding success. However, I've had some issues with the fertility rate of the eggs, and I haven't had as much fry as I would like to have had, but it hasn't done too bad. Now I have also got an Aqua One light on here as well. It's the one that just does the tap on the top to change the lighting. So it's pretty simple setup for these guys, nice and cheap and affordable, and it's a great way to do it. I want to do a video on how I breed them, but I need a lot more success before I can say that I've fully bred them. Now this tank I'll go through a bit of detail in so that I can go through what's in here. So the current fish that I have a group of 9 black neons, which are right here. I have a single autosynclus, which is right here. I have a gourami 3 spot, which is always hiding, and I have 5 peppermints plecos in here as well. So I ended up rescaping this whole thing, as you guys can see. This is the first time you've ever seen it. The tank is set to 26 degrees. The CO2 is over here. If you're curious at what my rate is for the CO2, it's very slow. I don't do a lot, I just do light CO2, and it seems to work for me. I've had some issues with the light being broken. Oddly enough, it happened to me, even though it hasn't really happened to many people, so I ended up getting that sorted out, and now it is going better. Sadly, the blood red took a hit, and you can see that the original growth took a major hit, but the new growth looks a lot more healthier, which is good. So I'm trying a couple different stems in this back right corner. So I put in Armania gracilis today, which is this front stem right here in front of my finger, so you guys know. That's blood red. I don't remember the name of this weird one here. It's like a stringy one, but I liked that too. And then I'm pretty sure I have Rotala Wallachi, which is very short in that back corner too. Now going through the epiphyte plants, I don't know all the IDs on all of them. I know a few. So there's a couple types of Anubias, like this one and that one in the back corner that I don't know the names of, but I know this one is Anubias Pinto. I know that right here is a type of brownie boost right there. These ones are all no ID. I've got Pandora Queen and Brownie Blue NK somewhere in this section. That is Sylvia, Booster Phalangeal Sylvia. That's that one. And I don't really know the IDs and the rest. I've purchased a lot of these as no ID boosts. Giving you a closer look at some of the boosters that I have right here. So I'm trying out a couple different types. I don't really know how many I have, but I have a fair few types. I added in a little cave for my peppermints as they almost to breeding size, so I really hope I get to breed those guys. I also have some of the popcorn moss or heuchera moss right there. That's Brownie Blue NK right there. This is Anubias Pinto that was in my other tank that wasn't doing well, so I moved it into here. As you can see, there's a bit of algae growth on it, but it should bounce back to be as good as the one over here that's nice and healthy. We have some S repens. I have a single stem of it, and I also have some green gecko on the left here. So that's pretty much everything in the tank. For the terrestrial plants, we have some Mandula pothos, which is here on the right, and then there should be some snow white in there too. The snow white, well, it's like snow pothos, I forget the name of it. There's fantasy syngonium right there, so there's like 2 leaves of it. I don't have much of that. This big one right here with the spikes is a Christmas star, and then I have Swiss cheese right here. The light on this is the WRGB 45 centimeter slim, WRGB 2 45 centimeter slim. So that's the light that's on this tank. This tank also has a heater at the back right, which is 26 degrees. So all of my tanks are set to 26. Now moving up to the very top, I'll leave Cardina for last and I'll move over to here. So this is my pygmy Cory tank originally. They're still in here and I'm hoping that they start breeding soon, but I now have some honey blue eyes. So I have a male and female up the top here that have bred for me, as you saw the fry down below earlier. There's a couple different plants in here. So there's the pygmy Corys right there. I have 6 of those. I plan on doubling my lot and getting 12 and seeing if that's a better breeding colony. But I have quite a fair few types of plants in here, from different types of Java fern to Bucephalandra to Bulbitis to Java moss. So there's quite a few different types in this tank. It's very simple. This tank has a sponge filter and it's also set to 26 degrees for anyone that's curious. I can also list the pH of my tanks if anyone's also curious about that. Feel free to leave a comment and I'll let you know the pH of the tanks. These are all pretty simple. I make them as simple as possible and I go with epiphyte plants or slow growing stuff if I can. I also have some of the small type of vowel, jungle vowel here as well. So it's a pretty simple scape, but it works out for me. Finally, the last tank I have in here is the Cardina tank, which has been doing amazing. So I'll go through the plants real quick. So we have the Wenty green crypt, we have some flame moss, we have Bulbitis, Cameroon moss, Java moss, and a type of boost that I don't have the ID for. I ended up moving the Agazu sword out of here and I gave it to a friend, and he gave me some other plants I wanted instead because it got a bit too big and we just zoomed out a lot. But I ended up liking this tank a lot more than I have before. It was really slow at the start and it's grown amazing recently. Going into the shrimp that I have 3 generations at the moment. The largest generation is kind of behind there, so you see that one right there, the smaller one on the mesh. That's the largest generation I have. Then the second largest generation is right here, and the third largest is somewhere in this tank. I haven't really been able to spot many of them recently, but they're probably all behind the Java or the flame moss. So I have quite a few different types of shrimp in here. Some of them are black tigers, some of them are like black galaxy tigers. Then I have like blue bolts, blue steels, red steels. There's quite a few different types in here. Some of them look really nice, some of them look okay, but some really nice colors. The Cardina are something that I'm really enjoying making videos on, so I'll be mostly trying to go for them in future when it comes to shrimp as opposed to Neocardina, as I'm losing a bit of interest in that sense. These guys are a lot more interesting for me as I've sort of managed to breed them myself properly, but I do love them a lot, so I think I'll probably stick to these ones. Other than that, it's a pretty simple tank, so I have Chollerwood and I have Dragonstone. It's run on a sponge filter and it's run at around room temp, which is about 22 degrees Celsius. But yeah, that's every single tank that I currently have. I haven't actually gone into that in a bit and had a look, so I don't want to show it without me looking at it. I don't want to know what's going on until afterwards. I'll have a look, but I haven't had a light on that for a while, so everything is growing from what I can see in there. It looks green, but yeah, who knows? We'll find out. Other than that, this is every single tank that I currently own except for that one right there. Technically, I have setups outside, but I'll be doing a separate video of my outside stuff. So this is pretty much a full tour of everything I currently have. That tank's just a work in progress. But I hope you guys did enjoy this kind of in-depth guide or video to everything I have. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. and I'll catch you guys all later. Bye bye everyone.